Buckle your freaking headphones and turn up the volume because we've got a whole bunch of Nintendo news to go through. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. I'm Sicky Icky, and I've got my tea. Throat coat tea. I haven't had to pull this out in a long time, but I haven't been sick in like a year, and the one time I get sick is literally on the launch day of Tears of the Kingdom. But no matter, we shall power through. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. We got great stuff to talk about today, including the next Legend of Zelda. I could not miss this video for that reason alone. But let me bring you up to speed on some other cool stories that are happening in the world of Nintendo. The big folks at Nintendo have no plans for a Switch price drop. We got more translations from some of the investor question and answer sessions, and Nintendo, Furukawa, the president, head honcho, says, no, we're not lowering that price. Now, this is interesting because the Switch has been out for 7 years and has not seen a single price drop. But why price drop when your sales are so great? They're getting worse, though. So I'm a little surprised that he says they have no plans for a Switch price drop. He says they'll continue to monitor the situation, but I feel like now is maybe the best time for a price drop. But perhaps what's happening here is he wants to make sure that they sell as many Zelda OLEDs as possible, as many systems for Tears of the Kingdom, and then maybe they'll develop a plan for a price drop this holiday season. That seems like it's something Nintendo could do. They have no plan right now, but just wait. You know, when Dougie Bowser calls up Furukawa and says, we're not selling enough, that price drop might hit. I think they just want to protect this period because it's going to be their best chance at major sales. Probably their last best chance at major sales in terms of the life cycle of Nintendo Switch. Mortal Kombat! Who knows that song? I had my uncle burn that song onto a tape. That's my era. Freaking Walkman, and my uncle burned the Mortal Kombat theme song from the movie onto a tape. Mortal Kombat 1 is apparently coming out later this year. Yes, you heard me correctly. Mortal Kombat 1. We got big rumors from big reliable sources, and I'd say these are like locked in. Not only are there leaks, but also Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios teased an image of a clock going from 11 to 1. It just goes straight to 1, skipping 12 and sort of rebooting the franchise. But what's fascinating here is they say that it's going to be on PC, Xbox Series S and X, PS5, and Switch. Because, you know, Switch goes toe-to-toe with everything else in that list, right? The Switch is hyper underpowered compared to those consoles, and it's curious to me why they're skipping PS4 and Xbox One, but doing it for Switch. Xbox One and PS4, yeah, are kind of being left behind, and maybe they'd rather get the $70 on the next-gen consoles, but huge install base. And the reason you put it out on Switch, huge install base. So why not make it easily available for all the people that have not yet been able to find or afford an upgraded next-gen console? It's very strange. It's so strange that I wonder if maybe this isn't going to be on the Switch we currently have. I know, I'm freaking tinfoil hat and all that, but weird, huh? Weird that it's on Switch but not other old consoles? Yes, they supported Switch before, but they also supported PS4 and Xbox One. I'm very excited for this game. It's supposed to have Peacemaker as a downloadable character, which sounds pretty neat, and they always do a fantastic job. I think MK is one of the best fighting games, especially if you love single-player stuff, and it's probably, outside of Smash Brothers, the best fighter on Switch. So glad we're getting the next one. Should be announced sometime soon. We're about to hit the summer season. Nintendo may be quiet, but NetherRealm, Warner Brothers, they'll definitely fill us in. Aonuma filling us in on his plans, or likelihood of plans, for a Zelda movie. They asked him about making a Zelda movie after the success of the Mario Bros. Movie, and he said, I have to say, I am interested, for sure. It's not just me being interested in something that can make things happen, unfortunately. And then Fuji Bayashi, the director of Twilight Tears of the Kingdom, said, maybe the voice of the fans is what's important here. I fully think that a Zelda movie or TV show will happen. If you recall, there were plans about a Zelda Netflix show, and that was apparently canceled. But now, after $1 billion of Mario movie popcorn, I think Nintendo is going to push forward with multiple new projects. I don't think they're just going to go one at a time. They freaking opened Nintendo Pictures for a reason just like this. Extreme success, the second highest grossing animated film of all time in the US, and you know that they're just going to continue to iterate and iterate. I'm down for a Zelda movie. I want to see Pig Ganon, though. Don't give me Ganondorf with the freaking red hair. I want Big Warthog, played by Pumbaa. Quickie, Monolith Soft did help out on Tears of the Kingdom. They're one of Nintendo's most important developers. They now have worked on Xenoblade, obviously, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Splatoon 3, and both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Pretty freaking crazy. Monolith Soft, one of, like I said, the best developers in the world right now and such a critical linchpin to Nintendo's success as a support studio to help them out. Love you guys over there at Monolith. You did fantastic work. But let's talk about the next work, the next Zelda game. I know y'all ready for the next Zelda. You beat Tears of the Kingdom, right? There was that 94-minute speed run. You read about that? You do that? I have no idea. Those people have a special skill. I think they're Zonai. I don't think they're human. 94 minutes? In 94 minutes, I was still on the Great Sky Island. Sometimes it takes me 94 minutes just to walk across the map. Those mountains are tall, baby. Anyhow, Hidemaru Fujibayashi is the director. This guy is a youngin' and he did a killer job on Tears of the Kingdom. So in an interview with New York Times, he was asked about what's next. This is very, very interesting. They say that Fujibayashi has plans for the next Zelda game already. He's already concocted some idea of what's coming next, and this instantly brings the question into two camps. Are we going with basically Breath of the Wild 3, the trifecta, or are we going a totally different route? Now, Aonuma and Fujibayashi have acknowledged that they've set up a new sort of baseline for Zelda, a new point for the series to build from with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So it makes a lot of sense that Nintendo would want to continue and only build upon where they're at. But I also recognize that it took a very long time to develop Tears of the Kingdom. And if there is a Switch successor down the road in the near future, maybe they don't want to wait till 2030 for a Zelda game to hit that platform. Perhaps it would behoove them to do a sort of mid-Zelda, a mid-cycle Zelda, where in 3 to 4 years, they have a more linear Zelda, and then 3 to 4 years after that, okay, we're back with the big open world. I think you do run the risk of oversaturating the market, and I wonder if Fujibayashi already thinking and already planning is because they're going to make an about face. I could be wrong here, but I just think when you're talking about, hey, he said something about Ganondorf that was weird. Aonuma did. It's very possible from here on out that we'll be able to see further character development and changes to his personality as the series continues. Ganondorf is an ingredient that we use to supplement gameplay. So they're talking about changing Ganondorf, and they're talking about already having ideas and plans for the next Zelda game. To me, if you're already thinking that, it's because you're ready to make some significant changes. And they say Ganondorf would have changes to his personality. I don't even know what that means, and perhaps the next Zelda game is a spin-off, right? They did things like Four Swords Adventure and Triforce Heroes, so they could do something like that. They wouldn't be my first choice, but I feel like Fujibayashi would like his chance to make a traditional Zelda with traditional dungeons. And I know that this game has huge dungeons, but there still clearly is a feedback from the fan base that, hey, we do want that kind of gameplay at some point again. I don't think we'll go through eternity and never have a traditional Zelda experience. I think we'll absolutely have another open world experience, but on the other side of the same coin, I don't think we'll never have a linear experience again. I think Nintendo could opt to use a top-down perspective. I think they also could sequelize maybe one of their past games, and I think they could try something brand new, especially if the new console opens up 4K and they want to go with maybe the hyper-realistic Zelda that they teased way back in the GameCube era. Do you remember that? They teased like hyper-realistic, like Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Advent Children going at it, Zelda action, and then they're like, they spun around like this. They did this. They spun, they did a full spin. And they said, Wind Waker. And everyone was like, what? Nintendo is known for trying different things. They're known for experimenting and innovating, and they always kind of do. I cannot see Nintendo spending effectively like 15 years on this idea of Zelda, right? Because it was in development well before its release in 2017. Let's say it started in like early production 2012. It was delayed multiple times, so it might have even been before that. If the next one came out in another 6 or so years, we're looking at 15, 16, 17 years of the same Zelda concept. And that really does not feel like the Zelda team to me. Especially as Aonuma seems to be passing along duties to the new generation, I could see them wanting to make their own mark. And surely Tears of the Kingdom is one heck of a mark, but maybe they would like to experiment with the golden formula that worked so well for decades and across many consoles. Now, they say that he hasn't even told Aonuma about it yet, which adds even further to my thoughts that he wants to do something different. I feel like if it was just Tears of the Kingdom 2, Breath of the Wild 3, they would have had roundtables and been like, oh, we could add in, this crafting mechanic, we could add in this. I wonder if they feel they've tapped out the world possibilities for this map and for this game. In a lot of ways, I sure hope that's the case. We'll get DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, we'll have plenty of chances to play in this world, But after 2 full games and 2 DLCs across 4 individual packs, do we really need this world again? I think it's high time that they build a new Zelda world, and Link and Zelda, like, they are eternal, right? There's always a different one, and I think it's time to get a new one. Maybe it'll go to a crazy location that Zelda has never been to, space. They've gone underground, so space is kind of the only thing left. Or maybe it'll be themed very differently. Maybe Ganondorf will be the hero, like back in the day when Ganondorf was the Link. I don't know. There could be something very unique, and maybe the reason that Fujibayashi has not shared these plans yet is because it is such a departure. I would bet my money on the next game not being Breath of the Wild 3 and instead being something totally different. Plus, they can always re-release this game as a collector's edition or Game of the Year edition with 4K upgrade for the next console and kind of pad sales that way. The game's already doing fantastic. I think it's very interesting that they even make mention of this because typically Nintendo, they're so quiet. They're like, please enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. We just released a great game with hundreds of hours of gameplay. I hope you enjoy it. Like, they're basically constructs. Sometimes Nintendo PR and execs are just straight up Zonai constructs. Maybe this all actually began with Nintendo, the Nintendo company. When they were making Hanafuda cards, they uncovered a Zonai ruin and it infected them with, I don't know, Zonai arm. But besides that point, what's the next Zelda? Where do you think they go, and why are they already talking about it? This must be a crazy good idea if they're even ready to squeak out the smallest detail, and I'm freaking pumped because I love this game. I love Zelda as a franchise, and I think Nintendo, I think they utilize Zelda as a catalyst for their next big gameplay movement, their next big development sort of threshold. Look, in a way, Zelda impacted other series. It impacted Mario Odyssey, I bet your butt. It impacted Kirby and the Forgotten, I always forget. I think it's Forbidden Land. That became open world or more open 3D. Really, Zelda sort of feels like the beginning, right? It's the opening into so many more possibilities, and I think it's time for Zelda to reinvent itself yet again. We can talk about this more as we get closer to the year 2030. Hopefully, we're still having fun conversations by then. I'm definitely going to try to keep this channel going for 20 years. That would be my goal. What a sick milestone. Anyways, go have fun with more Tears of the Kingdom. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, SwitchForce out.